decorations. We've got one of the kiddies in our parent and toddler groups had a birthday, and so we've been celebrating for them, and we've given them quite a fine feast to eat. It's been good, enjoyed it. The last couple of weeks I've been leafleting in my area for the United Kingdom Independence Party, or UKIP as we fondly call them. And I've been going out and about for a couple of weeks and finding aches and pains that I never knew I had muscles. Anyway, I've had a good time, and I had an opportunity to speak to people about the political situation in this country. It appears to me that most folks are feeling very negative about things in our country at this moment, and very few people that I've spoken to seem to think that it will ever change anytime soon. Also, I recently read in a newspaper that a recent poll that had been done amongst the country had revealed that almost half of British people would like to leave this country and live in another country, places like Australia and New Zealand and so on and so forth. What state of madness has entered a country that was once the envy of the world and now is depressing most folks who live in it and make them want to leave it? What kind of madness has gripped this country? Some of the topics that were constantly brought up when I was leafleting were, of course, the budget. A lot of people are very dissatisfied with the budget. Immigration was another issue. Same-sex marriage came up, and of course Europe. And naturally people were going on about the economy. They would be, wouldn't they? But the most striking subject that came up was that people seemed to have totally lost confidence in politicians. It's the worst it's ever seems to have been. Many feel that not only have the politicians lost touch with us ordinary folk, but they don't even seem to care about that fact. Some words I heard used. There are some words I wouldn't say online, but or in front of the camera, that is, but some of the words I heard were hypocrites, charlatans, liars, corrupt, selfish, and that's just to mention a few words that I picked up along the way. You know, I gave this a lot of thought. I thought, how would I feel if people said these things about me personally? I would be mortified. I would feel totally ashamed of myself if people use those words to describe me. I'm aware that I'm far from being perfect, but I like to think that most people who know me would say that I'm a decent and honest kind of a person. Wouldn't you like that said about you? But these politicians don't seem to have any kind of shame at all. Either they are totally oblivious to what people are saying about them, or they just don't care any longer. You know, all this reminds me of a verse in the book of Psalms. It says this: all have turned away, all have become corrupt. There is no one who does good, not even one. And that's from Psalm 14, verse 3. What a terrible indictment of our leadership. I shared when I was able to why I personally had joined UKIP. It was originally because of the intention of both Labour Party and Conservative, or Coalition as it is now, to teach sex education to young children in schools around about the age of 5, and to show them descriptive videos about sexual actions. And that disgusted me so much so that I was looking for something I could do about it, and somebody invited me to a UKIP meeting, and I went, and I've never looked back since. And as I talked to people about this thing, I was amazed at how few people were aware of what's going on in schools today. That really concerned me. One thing I did was to challenge some of the people I talked to. And what I said to them was, why don't you do something about it? Why not vote against these parties that are doing these things? Give your vote to UKIP in the next election, the next local election on May the 3rd. You know, folks, it's no good complaining if we do not do something about what we're complaining about. Why did I trudge the streets, hurting my feet and legs, posting leaflets through doors? Well, it was because I want to do something about what I see is wrong in our country. It's no use simply sitting in church on a Sunday, singing hymns, complaining about the situation, praying about it. We have to do something about it. James in chapter 2 verse 17 says this: faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. And I'm well aware of that scripture. You know, this is so true about a lot of issues in our lives, and it is certainly true about who we vote for. So many of us keep voting for the same party over and over again, and probably have been doing so most of our lives. But you know, folks, we've got to realise that both of the main parties have put our country into a mess, both spiritually and economically. Don't you think now is the time for change? Take a look on the website and go to the page that says a look at our world. Take a look at the article by Nadine Dorris, and the title of it is The Conservative Party. I'm going to leave it on for a second week. It's been on there all this week. I'm going to leave it on for a second week at least. See what she says about the Conservatives. And she is one herself. Folks, we need to get involved and to speak out and to do something. Did you know now that it's illegal to wear a cross to work? But it's perfectly legal to wear a burqa to work. Okay, so what's going off? Did you know that they are now looking at the Easter holiday and saying that this bank holiday is costing the economy too much? Isn't this just going to be another knock at our religious liberties? And where will it all end? You know, probably when every Bible has been destroyed and Christianity made illegal, then it might end. Come on, church, wake up. See what's happening in this land. And above all, do something about it. This May, you can go and vote for an alternative to the main parties. And my advice to all Christians particularly is, do so. God bless you all. Have a good week. Bye for now.
I left my Father's throne above to show you perfect love, oh my child. I did this all for you. I had the clothes torn from my back, and with each and every lash, oh my child, I thought of you.